Hi, welcome to part 7 of the PHP grocery list tutorial. And it's starting to get kind of fun because we're doing stuff with the database here and making things happen. So anyway, what we've got on our index page right over here is we've got a link on our list. And that link goes to delete.php. And then we've created an ID which is LID, short for list ID. And it stands for list ID. So LID equals and then list ID. So when you drop the LID, let's go over to our page here. If you mouse over this, you'll notice on the bottom here where it gives you the link, it's localhost groceries delete PHP question mark LID equals 3, and then in here it's LID equals 2, LID equals 1. So anyway, that's your LID, which we're passing over to our delete page. So we've created a page and we've called it delete. We've given it an opening and closing tag. Now, our first thing that we're going to put on here is string LID equals string underscore get, and then in brackets LID with the single quotations around it, and then a semicolon behind that. So this is our get variable. So we've gone ahead and set our variable of LID as the get LID. Then we need to open our database and connect to it. So we include our connect PHP file that connects to our database. Now, just a quick side note, if you make this locally on your XAMPP and then you move it, all you have to do is change your connect PHP to where you've moved your server to, and then all of these will work and you can put them up in the same way, which we're going to do later. And then we just have a query to delete that record, and the query is SQL equals MySQL query, and then in parentheses and quotations, delete from items where items ID equals LID, which is this get variable right here. Limit 1 or die MySQL error. Now, one thing I want to point out, I would change this from delete PHP on your main server. I would change this from delete PHP, and I would also change that into your index. And you can just call it some really, really obscure file name that nobody's going to find. That's what I would call it. And then that way you can't have, if somebody has watched this tutorial and they realize that you have a grocery list at a certain place, they can't just go and type that into their browser bar. Type in, for example, your website /groceries /delete PHP question mark LID equals whatever. Not that somebody would do that, but it's kind of a kind of a side security measure. For my purposes, I'm probably not even going to bother with that. But it bears mentioning because we're not getting into too much security in this. We're going to put the security for all of our display pages into the header, and so therefore you'll be pretty secure on that. But this is a really unsecured delete form. Just wanted to point that out in case you might have a concern with that. Okay, so anyway, there's your SQL, MySQL query, delete from that, or die MySQL error. If it can't delete, it'll just die and kick out an error. However, if it does delete it, then this next line, header location index PHP, is going to return you right back to the index page. Now the reason being, you can comment this out and put a link back to your index page if you want things to go a little slower. But in my case, when I've picked up an item in the grocery store, I don't want to sit there and do a lot of fidgeting from one page to the next. I want to just click that link and it disappears. So, okay, I'm going to save this, and it's very, very simple. Just watch this in high def and copy it down, and that should work for you. But let's go back to our database, and I'm going to put in some erroneous data to delete. I've already tested this out, so I know it works. But I'm going back over here to insert, and I'm just going to insert some gobbledygook. Let's see, drop that, and I'm going to date it just for kicks. Alright, now I'm going over to my next record and just put some gobbledygook. I'm going to put a bunch of gobbledygook in there, and just so this will roll a little quicker. Alright, so now we just go down here and go. Okay, we can see insert into values, null, da 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 da. I don't know what that means. Okay, now I'm going to browse, and we can see that it's skipped a few records because I've already tested the delete, but we've got now a DA and a DDD on top of our bread, milk, and coffee. So now when we go back to our regular page like so, and we refresh our regular page, you can see that I've got this DA1 and DDD. Okay, let's say I just got down the aisle and picked up DA1, so I'm going to click this. Watch what happens. It just disappears and brings me right back to my grocery list. No goofing around with go back to the list or any of that. Now, let's see, I go down the list and I see I've got my DDD. So I just click that and it gets rid of it and comes back. Well, I don't know if I clicked it. Let's see. There we go. And now we just have to find our bread, milk, and coffee. And as we find these, then we'll go ahead and delete those as we go along. And then when we've got an empty grocery list, we know we have all our groceries, unless we forgot to put something on the list. Well, thank you very much. This, I think, is number 7. And in number 8, we'll go ahead and start making the pages that you can enter your directly from your website. You can enter a new item, like you got bread, you got milk, let's say you got coffee, let's say you need eggs. You don't want to have to go to your database and type that in, so we're going to have across these columns right here that are unused at the moment, we're going to make one of them the main page, we're going to make another one an entry page, and then we might we might filter out by last item on the list, first item on the list, oldest, newest, that kind of stuff. And we'll figure out ways to use this. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.